As you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are many stories of treasure off the west coast of Scotland. And the greatest treasure of them all lies in Tobermory Bay. It's always been held that that treasure was never been found. But in actual fact, I'm going to let you into a secret tonight, and I'm sure you won't tell anybody. I don't want it up and down the glen tomorrow. But a member of my family actually found that treasure. And this is the story of what happened to her. You will have heard about the treasure up in Tobermory Bay, for there's many a one has tried their hand to find it in their day. And there is not an antique dealer living who would put a value on all the gold that's in the hold of yon Spanish galleon. Now my mother's father's brother, Archie, a noble man himself, he has a terrible thirst for money and an awful thirst for wealth. Although it must be said, money's not the only thing for which he has a thirst. It was at the closing of the day, at the opening time of night, when Archie had a notion that fair filled him with delight. It warmed the cockles of his heart, and it gave him so much treasure. Says he, 'tis I will go and find that Tobermory treasure. With intrepid thought, he hired the boat, and he did stock it full. Ach, you'll understand, he thought the trip might take a day or two. He hoisted sail for Mull, determined not to lose a day. And so he came and he anchored there in Tobermory Bay. Although he chose a spot at random, he had an intuition queer. Says he, it'll be by chance and not through plans I'll find this treasure here. So with frogman suit and all the gear, he slipped down o'er the side. And down he went, just like a stone, through the swelling tide. Now, believe this or believe it not. The fact is that it's true. When he reached the ocean bed, the galleon was in view. With popping eyes, he realized out through that torn hold, there were big doubloons and half a crowns. It was a Spanish gold. He surfaced like a rubber ball and he began to sing. He threw his hands above his head and he danced a Highland fling. But now, of sorrow I must tell, and it saddens me to quote. He danced his own disaster, for he overturned the boat. His kilt and sporran went overboard, but that was not all of his trouble, because the boat itself began to sink amongst a load of bubbles. Now Archie had to sink or swim, or strike out for the shore. And let me say this for him, no man could do more. Now, if you were ever in Tobermory, and luck is in your way, and you should find a treasure that's lying in the bay, the gold is yours, we'll not deny, you may have it all. But there's other money lying there that is not yours at all. There is a fiver in a sporran that belongs, sir, to another. And by Jehovah, he could do with it my mother's father's brother. In the relationships between man and woman, there are many, many strange mysteries. But for men, the biggest mystery of them all is the attraction shopping has for women. We just simply do not understand it. And I'm hoping that tonight, Carrie and Cathy may shed some light for we poor mortals who are men. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cathy and Carrie are shoppers. Thank you.
They gleam Oh, I only stayed for a brief tick. I do think some of those sales assistants are getting a bit long in the tooth. There's one on the fancy.
I know who you mean.
But I did get the handbag out after. Got two, actually.
Naughty.
How did you get on?
3 Susan Wolf blouses and bangles.
Angela, I thought you wanted a cashmere sweater.
I didn't have any, my dear. Definitely going to Hand Market, don't you think?
Well, there were lovely cashmeres and hoopers.
Oh, well, I can't go back now. Not today, anyway.
No, not today.
Nice of Herbert to collect us.
Oh, yes, I said we'd be here on the front, near the pier. He's at golf. Spends half his life there nowadays. Not that I mind.
No, Clive's just the same since he's retired. I hardly know the difference from when he was in the city. If anything, he leaves the house earlier.
And comes back later.
Oh, it's nice for them to have a hobby.
Everyone should have a hobby.
I do so agree. We're lucky, I suppose.
Yes. Bridge Mondays.
Health Club Tuesdays.
Meals on Wheels Wednesdays.
Oxfam Thursdays.
And
Fridays, the
shops.
shops.
Weeks fly by.
I like Fridays best.
Certainly has the edge on Meals on Wheels.
I got a Janet Rager cameo.
You never did.
Isn't it heaven?
Is it for you?
Why?
Did you try it on? You have such good taste.
My mother always said good taste is an instinct. You have it or you don't. Like good manners, really.
Yes.
Good manners are being aware of what might offend or upset the other person, my mother always said.
Quite a pundit, your mother.
A wise and cultivated woman.
So it seems.
Did you get anything special?
Well, I was mad for a little Robert Klein waistcoat, but it really was quite out of my range. I went into Jones. The hosiery department was very quiet, so I took advantage. A dozen pairs of Dior tights.
No! We must have just missed each other. I got 6 pairs myself.
My dear, I thought the stand was a bit low on stock.
There are now.
Herbert always says I go through a store like a typhoon.
Is Herbert still concerned about the market?
Oh, you know Herbert. If prices are down, he worries. If prices are up, he worries. He's just a worrier.
You know what my mother used to say about worrying?
Worrying puts lines on your face?
No.
Don't worry, it may never
No,
happen.
no.
I give up.
My mother used to say about worrying, always let other people do it.
I think you're right about your mother. She was pretty smart. Lived to ripe old age, no doubt.
Oh, she's still alive.
No, in a nursing home.
No.
Sheltered housing.
No, on a cruise.
Oh.
It was for her I got that beachwear last month.
Oh, I did love those silk lounging pyjamas. Fancied them very much.
Well, they were from Debenhams. They may still have more.
They did, but only on the model, unfortunately.
Here, you must take a look at this darling little figurine. Royal Dalton.
Ooh. Oh, no, dear.
It was on the Royal Dalton stand.
I don't care. Look underneath.
Good Lord, all right. How very sneaky of them. It was definitely displayed on the fine china stand. There was that balloon woman and everything.
you an M&S.
I spotted you too.
Oh, I only popped in for a quick browse.
Now, that's a contradiction in terms, Rosemary. You can't browse quickly.
Well, I'm sure I can.
Rummage quickly. A browse is something you do slowly. Precise definitions calls for clear communication.
Your mother.
Yes.
She does seem to have a pearl for every occasion.
She does.
Mind you, I think we could do with some fresh sayings. The old ones don't seem to have any impact nowadays. Although, I do wonder who made them up in the first place. Well, some are obvious, of course. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy was obviously put about by Jack. But I don't understand half of them. I mean, many a mickle makes a muckle, I ask you.
It's Scots, Rosemary. It means if you save up enough mickles, it'll eventually turn into a muckle.
Well, that's fair enough, I suppose, if you're into muckles.
You haven't shown me in the big bag.
I do think I did rather well here.
My.
100% Pyrenees. None of your an Angora goat walk past it rubbish.
Beautifully warm.
It was the nip in the air put it in my mind. Winter draws on.
Winter draws on. That reminds me, I got some thermal long johns for Clive. We're going skiing at Christmas.
Oh, lucky you. Herbert will never hear of it. The nearest we get is the Wembley Ice Spectacular. By the way, how do you think those skating actors wish each other luck on the first night? They can hardly say break a leg.
Funny thing,
Angela?
Oh, sorry, it's true. My mother does seem to have a profound observation to make on practically every topic.
It's obviously a gift.
It's a pain in the neck.
A lot of people would envy us our lifestyle, Angela.
I don't know, there are plenty of women in our position. In the home counties anyway, and Wilmslow.
I agree, in the main. But then they don't have that special stimulus that we have.
Oh no, not many women get our sort of buzz out of life. But then, they wouldn't take our sort of chances.
And if you take chances, you need to have fate on your side.
And we have it. Or wearing a new lipstick.
Picked it up this morning. Lancome. There was a special display.
It suits you. Not easy lipsticks.
Thanks. A very young girl on the counter. Usually cosmetics assistants are overkeen.
And pouncing in with suggestions and advice. I'll never forget being literally forced into new makeup right there in the store. Wasted half an hour, finished up looking like Barbara Cartland.
I managed to pick up some stickies for my false fingernails. The old ones had lost all their glue. I found 9 nails in my bed and one stuck to my shoulder. It gave me quite a turn.
Oh, I imagine. Did you stop for lunch?
No, only a break at dinner. Extraordinary thing happened. I bought myself a Kit Kat with my coffee and went and settled down at the table with all my gear and began my snack, when I suddenly realised the man sitting opposite was looking at me very strangely, full of sort of suppressed rage.
Heavens! Did you move away?
No, I outfaced him glare for glare as I drank my coffee and ate my Kit Kat. And at last he got up, went and got himself another coffee in the bun and sat at a different table. But he still kept staring over at me. And when I left, I gave him a very cold look, I can tell you. And then he said the oddest thing. He said, "Would you like my bun?"
What did you say?
Nothing, I mean, definitely unhinged.
Weird.
Oh, you meet the oddest people. Oh, I must show you the telephone jot I got for Herbert's study. It's so unusual. Oh,
What's the matter?
oh dear.
What? What? A Kit Kat?
Must have dropped into my bag when I sat down with all my packages.
A Rosemary?
Oh, heavens.
No wonder he looked at you strangely with suppressed rage. You were eating his Kit Kat.
Fancy Kit.
Oh, what a case, Rosemary. Show me the jotter.
There you are.
My dear, it must be genuine leather.
I should hope so.
I'm sure Herbert will appreciate it.
Oh, he's always delighted with the little surprise gifts I bring him.
So's Clive, and he never asks to see the bill.
Just as well.
They know when they're well off. Not many men have women as fulfilled as us.
That's right.
It's nice they don't object to our Friday drawings.
But Herbert always says, I do Meals on Wheels and Oxfam and the WI Market, so I deserve a little flutter on Fridays.
And Clive says the same.
Let's face it, they do reap the benefits.
Right. You haven't noticed my new earrings.
Oh, I did. Very pretty.
Barbara Bosch and Nelson.
May I try them on? Gorgeous. I do have my eye on something special in Laura Ashley's, but it will have to wait till next Friday.
Laura Ashley's. Oh, that's a lovely shop. And haven't they expanded? What are you after? A dress?
No. A duvet.
A what?
A duvet.
Rosemary, a duvet. My goodness. You'll be setting your sights on a mattress neck.
I think I can manage it.
Don't overstep the mark.
Just think of it.
You've got me worried.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Do you need a new duvet?
Oh, no.
Well then.
Perhaps I'm getting a teensy bit blasé.
Now, Rosemary, that's fatal.
But I've always had things so easily. Been in the right place at the right time, you might say.
Now, don't underrate yourself. Just think of that huge flagon of Madame Roche's you got last month. And you know it's your favourite. If that wasn't something, I daren't even think of the cost.
Well, French perfume is grossly overpriced anyway.
You are a hoot, Rosemary. I have my sights set rather lower. I mean to lay my hands on Sir Gurlane Soaps next week. I do love gorgeously smelly things in the bathroom. Did you go in the ladies' Netherlands by any chance?
No.
A new air freshener. Quite lovely. Alpine breeze. I fell for it completely. Can't you smell the pine trees?
Well. Oh, I used the powder room at the Royal Hotel. They've had it completely refurbished. Did you know?
Yes, I was in there last week. Quite charming.
Must have spent a fortune on fixtures and fittings. Those pretty handpieces and the fancy taps. And what about those little gold filigree mirrors?
So sweet.
And the matching hangers. Sort of art deco. Such an unusual design.
Never seen any like that before.
Oh, I really love those. What time is it? 1:45. Angela? I think I have just time to nip back there before Herbert comes.
You think?
Would you want the fork here?
Of course.
Good thing I brought this along.
You're so resourceful, Rosemary. Need a carrier?
Oh, no thanks. I have one. Now, I shouldn't be more than a tick, with a bit of luck.
My mother says you make your own luck.
She is so right. Be back soon.
Don't worry. I've got the new bestseller from Shirley Conran. Oh no. It's the new bestseller from Jackie Collins. Even better.
The moon belongs to everyone. The blessings in life are free.
Well, thank you ladies. Now I understand my wife's obsession with shopping. Now, with any new venture, it's always hard to introduce yourself to new friends. But Lancashire actress Dame Dora Graham had it down to a fine art. She would suddenly appear in a room and say, "Do you know who I am?" Which worked well, until one day she was visiting a retirement home. And she cheerily burst into the room and announced, "Do you know who I am?" And a small man sitting next to her said, grabbed her arm and said, "Don't worry, lass, the nurse will tell you." Now, nowadays we all holiday to far-flung exotic locations. But there was a time when Blackpool, Lancashire was considered a far-flung, if not exotic, location. So let's have a favourite monologue from Blackpool, Lancashire. Albert and the Lion.
There's a famous resort known as Blackpool. It's noted for fresh air and fun. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with young Albert, the son. He, fine little lad is young Albert, when dressed in his best, quite a swell. He has a stick with an horse's head handle, the finest that rowers could sell. They didn't think much of the ocean. The waves were piddling small. There were no wrecks, and nobody drowned. In fact, there was nothing to laugh at at all. So in search of further amusement, they paid to go into the zoo, where there were lions and tigers and camels, and old ale and sandwiches too. There was one old lion called Wallace. His nose was all covered in scars, and he lay in a somnolent posture with his head right up to the bars. Now young Albert knew about lions, lions and how they were ferocious and wild. To see Wallace lying so peaceful didn't seem right to the child. So straightway the brave little fella, not showing a morsel of fear, took his stick with his horse's head handle and he pushed it in Wallace's ear. You could see the lion didn't like it. For giving a kind of a roll, he pulled Albert in cage with him and he swallowed the little lad whole. Now Pa, who had seen the occurrence, didn't know what to do next. And Pa said, "Hey mother, lions ate Albert." The mother said, "Hey, I'm vexed." Now Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom, quite rightly when all's said and done, complained to the animal keeper that lion had eaten their son. Keeper was quite nice about it. He said, "What a terrible mishap. Are you sure it's your boy he's eaten?" Pa said, "I'm sure there's his cap." So manager had to be sent for and he came and he said, "What's to do?" Pa said, "Yon lions ate Albert and him and his Sunday clothes too." Then mother said, "Now right's right, young fella, I think it's a shame and a sin that lion is eating Albert after we paid to come in." Well, manager wanted no trouble, so he pulled out his purse right away. "How much to settle the matter?" Pa said, "How much do you usually pay?" But mother had turned quite awkward when she thought where her Albert had gone. So mother said, "No, somebody's got to be summoned," and that was decided upon. So round they went to police station in front of the magistrate's chap and said how the lion ate Albert and proved it by showing his cap. Then the magistrate gave his opinion that no one was really to blame, and he hoped that Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom would have many more sons to the name. At that mother got proper blazing. "Thank you kindly, sir," said she. "What? Waste all our lives raising children to feed lions? Not ruddy lightly, not me." Ladies and gentlemen, when I was a wee laddie, my mum and dad used to take me into the theatres in Glasgow. It was a magical place because people came on the stage and they did things. And men would come on the stage dressed as I am at the moment, doing something similar to I've just done. And there's nothing new about that. Living in a mining village, this is what men wore when they weren't at work. So you were used to that. But then this actor, I didn't know he was an actor, he was just a man to me. He stood in that stage, and with the help of his delectable assistant, and may I introduce you my delightful dresser, the delectable Alice. Now there in the footlights glare, this chap who had earlier on been crunched up in that, as it were, industrial crunch of the body that I was used to, suddenly he would begin to become a totally different person. And he would take off his bonnet, and they always had great manes of silver hair, and he would bring back the silver hair, and then he would take off his scarf with a great flourish, as it were. Thank you. And then the magic bit, it would change totally. And the tone of his performance would change as well. To a certain degree, he was talking down to working class folk, but that was beside the point. But he stood there, and his tone changed, and he would move perhaps into one of the great anthems, as it were, "The Charge of the Light Brigade," or "Gunga Din." But more often, it was a tale warning young women about the terrors of drink. So this is a dire warning to young women. Music, maestro, please. She was young, she was pure, she was new, she was nice, she was fair, she was sweet 17. He was old, he was vile, and no stranger to vice. He was base, he was bad, he was mean. He had slyly inveigled her up to his flat to view his collection of stamps. And he said as he hastened to put out the cat, the wine, his cigar and the lamps, "Have some Madeira, Madeira, you really have nothing to fear. I'm not trying to tempt you, that wouldn't be right. One shouldn't drink spirits at this time of night. Have some Madeira, Madeira, it's really much nicer than beer. I never touch sherry and no one drinks stout, and port is a wine I can well do without. It's simply a case of chicanas and gout. Have some Madeira, Madeira." Unaware of the wiles of the snake in the grass and the fate of the maiden who dopes, she lowered her standards by raising her glass, her courage, her eyes and its hopes. She sipped it, she drank it, she drained it, she did. He quietly refilled it again. And he said as he secretly carved one more notch on the base of his gold handle cane, "Have some Madeira, Madeira, I have a small keg of it here. And once it is opened, it just doesn't keep. So finish it off, it will help you to sleep. Have some Madeira, Madeira, it's really a wonderful year. Now if it were gin, you'd be wrong to say yes. The evil gin does it so hard to assess. Besides, it's inclined to affect me prowess. Have some Madeira, Madeira." Then it flashed through her mind what her mother had said in her anti-penultimate breath. "My child, if you look upon the wine when it's red, be prepared for a fate worse than death." She let go her glass with a shrill little cry. Crash tinkle, it fell to the floor. When he said, "What in heaven?" she made no reply. Up her mind and a dash for the door. "Have some Madeira, Madeira," rang out down the hall loud and clear. A tremulous cry that filled with despair when she paused for a breath of that cool midnight air. "Have some Madeira, Madeira." The words seemed to ring in her ear, until the next morning she woke up in bed with a smile on her lips and an ache in her head, and a bear in her ear that tickled and said, "Have some Madeira, my dear."
Now, it's true that marriage is a partnership, but it's often the woman behind the man that really knows what's going on. Now, let's have Carrie tell us the real story.
Should have asked my husband by Pam Ayres. You know this world is complicated and imperfect and oppressed, and it's not hard to feel timid, apprehensive and depressed. It seems all around us, tides of questions ebb and flow. People want solutions, but they don't know where to go. Opinions abound, but who is wrong and who is right? People need a prophet, a diffuser of the light, someone they can turn to when the crisis rage and swirl, someone with the remedy, the wisdom, The pearl. Well, you should have asked my husband. He'd have told him then and there. His thoughts on immigration, teenage mothers, Tony Blair, the future of the monarchy, house prices in the south, the wait for it replacement, BSE and foot and mouth. Yeah, you should have asked my husband. Yeah, they should. He can sort out any mess. He can rejuvenate the railways. He can cure the NHS. So any little niggle, anything you need to know, just run it past my husband, wind him up and let him go. Congestion on the motorways. Free holidays for thugs. Damage to the ozone layer. Refugees. Drugs. These may defeat the brain of any politician bloke. But present it to my husband, he'll solve it in a stroke. He'll clarify the situation. He'll make it crystal clear. You'll feel the glazing of your eyes and the bending of your ear. Corruption at the top. He's an authority on that. And a mafia. Gaddafi. Yasser Arafat. On these areas he brings his intellect to shine in a great compelling voice that's twice as loud as yours or mine. I've often wondered what it must be like to be so strong, infallible, articulate, self-confident, and wrong. When it comes to tolerance, he hasn't got a long. Joyriders should be guillotined and muggers should be shot. The sound of his own voice is like music to his ears, and he hasn't got an inkling that he's boring us to tears. Oh, it's relentless. It's unstoppable. The hunting ban was grim. I fantasise at night about the hounds pursuing him. We went out to the cinema. How the films have changed. They were showing Brokeback Mountain. He nearly went deranged. Our friends don't call so often. They have busy lives, I know. But it's not every day you want to hear a windbag suck and blow. Encyclopedias, on them we never have to call. Why clutter up your bookshelf when my husband knows it all?
Now, dancing is another pastime beloved of the ladies. So let's eavesdrop on two ladies who have just enjoyed a terpsichorean afternoon and are now ready for a breather.
Medalist, you know.
Not surprised. Pity he moved away. He'd have enjoyed these tea dances on the pier.
Still, he'd have brought his wife, no doubt.
Yes.
2 left feet, if not more.
When? I wonder where they first met.
Well, it wasn't at a dance.
No. It was awful watching him yanking her round the floor. He He was loyal, I'll give him that. Always gave her a good will.
Yes, they have 6 children, you know.
When?
He was marvellous with a good partner.
Yes, I danced with him a lot.
So did I.
Well, he's gone now. One less man.
What about those 2 new widowers? What are their names? Bill and Wally?
Bill and Maury.
Murray?
Maury, short for Maurice.
Oh, you soon found out.
I danced with one of them.
Look at you. They seem to be hanging together a lot.
Shy first time.
Didn't seem shy to me, laughing away in the corner.
They're old friends.
Obviously. I thought they were going to dance together at one point.
And why not, pray? Peggy and Elsie often do.
That's different. They'd look funny.
So do Peggy and Elsie.
Oh, all right, you win. Oh, Betty. They'll soon fit in.
I think I made Bill loosen up.
Well, if anyone could.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm sure someone said Wally.
Luke, he must know his own name.
I suppose so. They do sound alike.
When?
All right. Oh, I don't know. I broke the strap off my silver shoe, Luke. Lucky I could dance in these. That paso doble, oh, it does take it out of you. I'm sure it was faster this week.
I think you're right. I was flying round the floor with Edgar.
I saw ya.
He has wonderful control.
Oh, yes, it really was too fast.
Peggy and Elsie fell over.
I know, it was too fast this week.
Did you see?
Who didn't? I thought those went out with the ark.
Bill and Maury were helpless.
Yes, well, we'll soon get them going next week.
We will.
Who said they were widowers?
Ethel Prendergast.
Oh, trust her to ferret it out. Seemed a bit merry for widowers. I thought probably divorced.
I wonder.
Well, you danced with one of them.
Maury, yes.
Probably just happily married and needing a break from it.
Oh, you are a cynic, Win.
No, I'm not. I'm C of E. I saw you dancing with that Stan Barn, Father.
I couldn't get out of it.
These old-fashioned Paul Joneses, they're all very well,
I
but...
didn't enjoy it. I could feel his, you know, every time we did a dip.
It's what?
Oh, God, Win!
Oh, gracious, Betty. You seem such a keen dancer.
Well, he certainly wasn't concentrating on his feet.
They used to try that in the tango, when we did the tango.
Right, now they go for the slow groove and a handful of buttock.
It's not dancing.
Definitely.
But you know, Betty, you are a very sexy woman. You exude it.
Do I?
So you can't blame him.
Hold on.
You see, men aren't always actually entirely in control of their urges. It's like there's a separate person
they carry around in their pocket. Surely you've seen that little book.
Little boot?
You see, this little person sees a woman he fancies and he perks up. And he says, "Go for it, Fred," or whatever the man says. And maybe Fred says, "Down, Rover." That's Rover just carries on pressing the point and giving Fred all sorts of excuses why it's okay to follow his nose.
You do have a way of putting things, Win.
Well, it's a fact. If you don't want to arouse a man, you don't go round giving off mating signals. Now, take your cleavage.
I can't help having a cleavage. Either you've got a cleavage or you haven't. It's not something you can deflate.
Possibly.
What do you mean, possibly?
Well, you don't have to put a frill round it.
Everybody would think I was wearing a miniskirt and a see-through blouse.
All I'm saying is men aren't entirely in control of themselves. If you're not selling fish, don't lay out your slab.
Well, at least some of us have still got a salmon steak on offer, not dried up old kippers.
I think you're going a bit far.
You started it.
I was merely pointing out the big difference between men and women. It's one of life's imponderables. Like when you pick your tights up in the morning and one foot faces in and one foot faces out.
Well, anyway, men lay out their wares as well. I had one boyfriend who wore half a tennis ball in his pants.
Really?
He looked very virile until he took his trousers down. Then it fell out on the floor. And the cat started to play with the tennis ball, Win, the tennis ball. Honestly,
Really?
cross my heart.
Oh, I must have moved in different circles.
Very likely. Like a toffee?
Oh, thanks.
Bill and Maury seem like gentlemen. I wouldn't mind having a man about the place again. So long as he could mend fuses and all that. They can't always.
I can mend my own fuses.
I'd have guessed. Just, you're the capable type. I'm surprised dancing's your hobby. I'd have put you down for winemaking or car maintenance.
I'm a silver medalist.
You said,
I'd like to get my gold, but I need the right man.
with the right man, everything would be gold.
If you believe that, you believe anything.
He's out there somewhere.
Betty, you've had your share. What happened to Julian?
Julian. Ah, Julian. He took me out to dinner and to the theatre. He spent weekends with me. He took me on a day trip to France.
Someone said he dumped you for Alice.
He did that too.
Now that's a dangerous lady.
Right, it's always the quiet, faded, self-effacing ones wearing sober clothes and the necklace their late husband gave them.
I can't reach the bookcase, afraid of mice, enjoy ironing, make pies, won't go out at nights without someone else.
They're the ones.
That's when you've got to watch your back.
Exactly.
nose.
I'm right under his without him having the least suspicion. Clever devils.
I'd settle for a dancer. He doesn't have to have anything else to offer. Not marriage, nor money, nor looks, nor even a sweet nature. Just so long as he has twinkling toes.
Bill and Maury aren't bad.
Oh, we can do better than that.
Yes.
It's funny how few men of our generation are really good dancers. I've got this notion I'll make a life-size stuffed partner and fix his feet to mine. That way we move as one. No problem.
Even easier, you could buy one of those big blow-up dolls.
What blow-up dolls?
You know, the ones they sell in those shops.
What shops?
Oh, forget it, Win.
No, what we need are some professional dance partners. You'd think with all the men out of work, someone would have seen the opening.
We ought to start an agency, Win. Escorts for widows.
Just for dancing and escorting us to the theatre or to restaurants. You know, nothing else.
Oh, no. Well, that would be up to the widow. I mean, we could call the agency Widow's Might.
I was being serious.
Me too.
We could call it Gentlemen Friends.
I bet I know who'd be our first customers.
Yes.
Peggy and Elsie. I thought of another service they could provide. They could go on holiday with us.
Oh no.
Carry the luggage, handle the tickets, give us some clout with the hotel manager for a change.
Oh no.
Why, oh no?
Well, surely you're not suggesting that you share a double room.
Oh no. Well, not necessarily. No, definitely not.
Well, there you are then. We're back to single rooms. And I think we've learnt enough about single rooms.
You've got a point there.
With half the world living singly, you'd think someone would have got the message. I mean, unless it's your spouse.
Or your lover.
Who wants to share sleep in the same room as someone else?
It's my belief they enjoy watching perfectly good friends going off each other.
Well, you know, Betty, I just have to sleep with the curtains closed.
So I discovered it's like being buried alive.
Well, you snore.
Harry never complained.
Husbands get used to these things. Anyway, you call out Peter in your sleep.
Peter? Oh, well, yes, I'll have to watch that.
Be nice to go to the lakes together sometime, but no double room.
No, and no gigantic supplement for 2 broom cupboards.
No. So,
What about tents, one each?
are you mad?
Be an activity holiday again then, student rooms.
Fair enough. What do you fancy?
Ballroom dancing?
Tells. We could mention it to Bill and Maury.
No, let's wait and see what's on offer at this year's course.
All right for you.
Anyway, you had the instructor.
Yes, he did choose me to demonstrate with. You need somebody quick on the uptake.
Pity that blonde took over midweek.
Yeah, well, I think he knew her already.
Well, if not, he soon did.
Ever thought of folk dancing? Not so much need for partners. Lots of hanging round shoulders and whizzing in circles.
Really?
Still, very exhausting.
I prefer partners. It's more natural.
Yes, quite.
Yes. Win?
What?
Win!
What is it? it?
It's Phil and Maury.
Where?
Just coming off the pier, look.
Oh, so it is. Do you think they're headed this way?
Don't know. Who cares?
Quite. I can't see for that kiosk. Maybe they've gone back into town. No, there they are. They're coming this way.
Oh, yes. Oh, they're waving.
So they are. Oh, Betty, don't overdo it.
They're still waving. Win,
Yes?
I don't think it's us they're waving.
No, I don't think so.
Then who?
Oh, gracious. Guess who?
Who?
Oh, Betty, put your specs on.
You don't mean?
I do mean. Waiting over there in that shelter. Peggy and Elsie. Come on, Betty. You ready?
Now beware, gentlemen, there are predators out there in that big bad world. Right. Now we have a 20-minute interval, so make sure you have your raffle tickets at the ready. There are refreshments at the back, and I'm pleased to say that all the drinks have been passed by the council. Okay, so we'll see you in 20.
Literally.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed your refreshment. The monologue was part of Victorian society. They really loved their party poetry, their parlour poetry. And it can be argued that it wasn't the best verse ever.
I say, is this the box? The royal box? I say, Usher, our name's there. Yes? I'm Colonel Trumpton, and this is my daughter, Gwendolyn. Sit down, lass. Come on. Come on, man, entertain us. Let's hear you.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying before I was interrupted, monologues were a part of Victorian and Edwardian culture and tell us many things about our history. Our offering tonight is the quintessential image of the British Raj, The Green Eye of the Little Yellow God by Milton Hayes. There's a green-eyed yellow idol to the north of Kathmandu. There's a little marble
I
cross
say,
below.
have you been there lately?
I beg your pardon. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
The Colonel said, have you been there lately?
Where?
Kathmandu.
As a matter of fact, I haven't been there for some time.
Who were you there with? Indian Army or Indian Civil?
By the look of him, it would be the Folderols.
Well, to be perfectly frank,
I knew it, Father. A bounder.
We know Kathmandu very well. It's been a second home to us.
We holidayed there only last year.
Yeah.
Came through it on the way home.
Place has changed terribly.
Jolly bad show.
well, that's all very interesting. But why are you telling me all this?
Just to keep you right, geographically.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You wouldn't believe it. The whole place has been changed terribly under a town planning scheme. Who do they think they are?
For instance, there's a public library.
Please, May
Not
I?
quite, man. There's a public library and a public baths in the main square. And then move the idol to the south of Kathmandu.
The cemetery, Father. Tell them about
Oh,
the
yes,
cemetery.
yes. The cemetery is now a cinema. Damn hideous thing.
So the marble cross you spoke of is now above the town.
Perhaps I'd better start again.
But do.
The Green Eye of the Little Yellow God by Milton Hayes. There's a green-eyed yellow idol to the
South, man, south.
to the south of Kathmandu. There's a little cross.
Above!
There's a little cross above the town. There's a broken-hearted woman tends.
I say, did you know Fanny Shannon?
Did I know who?
Fanny Shannon, you know, General Shannon's eldest girl.
Tim Shannon, damn good scout. Yeah.
You were out of order in saying she was broken-hearted. She was naturally upset at Carew's death, but she soon got over it.
She married a rich American?
Yes, they had 3 boys at St. Paul's.
How then shall I describe it?
We suggest a comparatively broken-hearted woman.
Perhaps I'd better start again. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. There's a green-eyed yellow idol to the south of Kathmandu. There's a little marble cross above the town. There's a comparatively broken-hearted woman tends the grave of Mad Carew, and the little god forever gazes down.
Up, man, up!
Gazes up. He was known as Mad Carew.
Oh, ridiculous. He wasn't mad at all. Mentally deficient, yes. But you couldn't call him absolutely crackers.
He was known as mentally deficient. To the sons of Kathmandu, he was hotter than they felt inclined to tell.
Too much curry powder, I say.
But for all his foolish
Oh,
pranks,
foolish pranks be damned, sir. You do not call writing rude words on walls simply foolish pranks.
well, I didn't know about that.
Neither did I.
Well, there are some things one doesn't tell one's daughter. He was a horrible man. Horrible habits.
Do tell. No. In Government House? The Thunderbox?
In front of no coward of all people.
But for all his foolish pranks, he was worshipped in the ranks, and the colonel's daughter smiled on him as well.
I say that's a coward's remark, sir. If you must know, my brother was engaged to her at the time.
I'm sorry about that, sir. I do apologise.
Damn good show. I accept your apology.
Well done. Although he doesn't deserve it. But we don't want to make a scene.
Now ignore the blighter. Who is he anyway? Let me see. John Lowe. What a stupid name. Local actor, I think. Silent cinema. Certainly, let me see. North of the O'Hamra Hippodrome. Perhaps Edencourt.
Certainly of the wrong sort. Might one suggest beauty pantomime?
One might.
She was nearly 21.
Oh, 21 be damned, sir. She was 39 if she was a dame.
Mind you, she didn't look it. She'd had everything lifted, or practically everything. Certainly all the main essentials.
And arrangements had begun to celebrate her birthday with a ball.
Extraordinary. I knew nothing about that.
No, I think you were away at the time. It was during the rains. You were up at Rumbleberry Poor on that sewage collection.
Sewage Commission, dear. Sewage Commission.
He wrote to ask what present she would like from mentally deficient Carew. They met next day as he dismissed his squad.
Platoon!
Squad!
Platoon, a subaltern commands a platoon.
But it must be a squad. It's got to rhyme with Yellow God.
I don't give a damn what it's to rhyme with, sir. It's a matter of Queen's regulations. It's a platoon.
They met next day as he dismissed his platoon, and jokingly she said that nothing else would do but the green eye
of a little yellow prune.
The night before the dance, mentally deficient Carew
Sat in a Transby dancer, he sat in a blancmange, he was as drunk as a skunk.
and they chaffed him as they puffed on their cigars.
I say, laddie, are you referring to his underwear or his brother officer?
His brother officers, of course.
Well, the word is chafed. Unless, of course, you come from the North Country and the E is shortened and it becomes chaff.
It might interest you to know that I do come from the north.
Yes, it does show.
I would prefer the word shaft.
Well, by all means, say chaff. Puff and chaff. Puff and chaff.
I will.
Please do it.
And they chaffed him as they puffed upon his head.
I say, Gwendolyn, we can't get a drink here. Can we go to the bar?
Sorry, we have to leave.
Yeah. We'll leave you to your puffing and chaffing.
Please, sir, please, sit still. Let me continue. Don't you realize that this is my livelihood, my vocation? May I please continue?
Oh, but do.
Oh, but
Sorry about that. There's a broken-hearted idol to the west of Mad Carew. There's a cross-eyed bearded woman doing all a cat can do.
Leaving an audience who've paid.
And they're clearly very cultured people. The place reminds me of Puna. Very top drawer.
Yeah.
We can't leave them like this. It wouldn't be fair. I say, could I? Should I?
Yes, but do. You could do the bit that clown left out. You know, the bloody bit.
Father, I told you before about your language.
Oh, not the bloody bit, the bloody bit.
Oh, of course.
You go on, dear. I'll move these chairs. Give you some room. There we are.
Thank you, Father. The door was open wide with silver moonlight shining through. The place was wet and slippery where she trod. An ugly knife...
I say, Gwendolyn, you do not have a knife.
Oh, but I do! I think they've gone now, at least I hope so. And we've got two readings now from Carrie and Caroline, surgically enhanced and calendar girls.
I stand before the mirror and I feel my spirit sink. I'm so bored with this old body. It's so normal, round and pink. It hasn't got the shingles or a heavy chesty cough. It just needs a few adjustments, a few sections slicing off. So jab it, stab it, use it, bruise it, give it all a tweak. Insert the bags of saline in the hope that they don't leak. Inject the collagen, carve me a monumental pout.
So I'll have lips of blubber when the stitches have come out. I'm going to have my neck done. It's so crepey, slack and loose. They all let up and stretch. I think they do it with a noose. I've been studying my bottom. It's not looking very well. It needs lifting up and sculpting and judicious bags of gel. So as I walk down the high street and you view me from the back, I'll be mischievous and bouncy like two ferrets in a sack. and if I'm wearing lycra, you could have an heart attack. I'm going to be surgically enhanced. I have got another problem. I get shakes at night. I think it's because of all the checks I have to write. I am having liposuction on my abdomen and thighs. I'm hoping to reduce myself to quarter the size. They use a kind of vacuum cleaner needle, don't you know? They stick it in your midriff and they drive it to and fro. And slurp, there's your problem. In the bucket down below. I'm going to be surgically enhanced. I have felt decrepit lately. I suddenly feel better when I sniff the sweet aroma of the operating theatre. Come on, Mr. Surgeon. Let's celebrate. Pop the cork. I'll lay on the table and you get your knife and fork. I'm signing the indemnity and coughing up the cash. Maybe I am profligate, extravagant and rash, but I want a younger face. I don't care how they do it, dears. I think they kind of lift it up and loop it round your ears. Considering my bosom, well, it's looking rather sad. But then I must remember that 2 children I have had, and in my fond maternity, produced a potent brew. And now the kids are 15 stone and over 6 feet too. Well, returning to the Bristols, I don't want the past to wreck 'em, so I'm going to have them surgically enhanced like Mrs. Beckham. I can't afford the luxury and treatment that she can, so I've booked it on the cheap to have it done in Pakistan. My husband can regard himself a very lucky man that I'm going to be surgically enhanced. For I'm going to be surgically enhanced. And for all those that think that I've spent hours working on my accent, it just comes naturally. Nothing special. I'm going to pass over now to Caroline, who's going to do a reading of the calendar, and it'll remind us of that extraordinary group of women in Yorkshire who thought up a wonderful idea for raising money for a very worthy cause as we are tonight. And they took their calendar and they decided that they wanted to use the traditional photos that they normally would have done with the trays of baking and the apple pressing and the flower arrangements, and they actually posed nude behind them. I'm sorry if you all read the programme and thought that there was going to be a lot of nudity tonight. There isn't. We kind of calmed it down. So Caroline is not going to strip for you, but she has a wonderful poem, and it starts off talking about the Calendar Girls, but then talks about other people in the profession and how they would deal with something similar. So I pass over now to Caroline Crawford.
Women in a certain WI made rather a saucy calendar that anyone could buy. It made a lot of money, which really was their aim. but think of all those other groups who might like to do the same. Imagine all the dustmen wearing suggestive grins and posing quite artistically behind their wheelie bins. If they only had the bottle, the milkman could look great, carrying a semi-skimmed, half hidden by a crate. The postman would have no problems. They could strip down to their socks and drape their sacks to best effect, perched on a pillar box. A rambling club could simply head towards the nearest stile and coyly peep between its bars, wearing nothing but a smile. But if it was open country, there'd be no need to flap. You can cover quite an area with an ordnance survey map. A navvy could carry a shovel or lean on his pneumatic drill. If somebody happened to switch it on, it would give everyone a thrill. I wonder what would happen if it caught on round here. I don't think I would have the nerve to become a volunteer. What would I use for camouflage? I've far too much to hide. And I couldn't look provocative, however hard I tried. I might have done when I was young, but I'm older now and wiser. Still, I could wear a suit of armour and peer out through the visor.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our final play this evening, we take you to a meeting, an annual general meeting. We've all been there. You know how it happens. You go along to show your support. You keep your head down so that no one will notice you, and you leave, and you've been appointed treasurer. Well, the play this evening, as you can see, our members are already gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, we end this evening with Dan Tristan's play, Last Tango in Little Goonley.
Well, I suggest we make a start.
Margaret's not here yet.
She told me she might not bother this year.
She always says that. She's looking for attention.
Well, we can't wait all night. It's nearly 1:45.
She's not going to come now.
Well, I'm calling the meeting to order. This is the annual general meeting.
Sorry I'm late.
Come on, Margaret, we've already started.
Is this it?
I'm afraid so.
Well, where's Alan?
Alan's broken his leg.
And Jane's got a Tupperware party tonight. What about Peter and Alice?
They reckon they're not going to bother this year.
Oh, they always say that. They're just after attention. I suggest we start without them.
It's a matter of having to. They're not coming.
Right, down to the business in hand. This is the annual general meeting of Little Grimley Amateur
Point
Dramatics.
of order.
Yes, Margaret, what is it?
We should begin by electing our chairperson for the year.
I was coming to that. It's the first item on my agenda.
But deciding the agenda is the job of the new chairperson, whom we have not yet elected.
It is the job of the incumbent chairman to decide on the best way to vote in the new chairman.
Chairperson.
All right.
It could be a woman.
Chairperson? I mean, does this really matter?
Absolutely. What happens if the new chairperson disagrees with the manner in which the old chairman decided upon the initial agenda?
Well, then the first item on that agenda, namely the voting in of the new chairperson, is declared invalid. In which case the new chairperson is no longer the new chairperson, and control reverts back to the original chairman.
What is this? Yes, bloody minister.
These things are important.
Oh,
Bernard.
look, cut the crap. Who wants Gordon to be chairman? And who wants Margaret?
There, that's it settled. Let's get on with it.
Happy now, Margaret?
Absolutely.
Right.
Don't envy your job, Gordon.
Item 2, Treasurer's Report, Joyce.
Well, I'm afraid we lost money in our last production.
Well, that makes a change.
Oh, don't interrupt, Bernard. Let's have the details, Joyce.
Well, in total we spent £84.55 new pence.
Oh, does that include my photocopies?
That's everything.
And how much did we take on the door?
Well, over the 3 nights, including programme sales and the revenue from Mrs. Marsh's delicious tea buns, which she kindly donated free in charge. Lovely and moist they were. I've got the recipe, by the way.
Joyce!
£37.04 new pence.
Another blockbuster.
In retrospect, I think we went a little overboard on the set.
Overboard? You gave me a budget of 28 quid.
Well, you didn't have to spend it all.
Do you realise the price of Conti board these days?
All right. It's no good blaming Bernard. It's bigger audience we need, not smaller set. Now, some bad news, I'm afraid. I received this letter this morning from Stan Fellows.
That's predictable. Suppose the miserable old so-and-so's putting the rent up again.
Worse than that, I'm afraid. He actually wants us to start paying him some of it.
Have we not paid him?
Not in the last 3 years, no.
Well, how much do we owe him?
£400.
Oh, bloody hell.
Precisely. And he wants it paid in full before the end of the season, or we're out.
Out?
Out. Finished.
Well, where the hell are we supposed to find £400? That's more than we lose in a whole season.
What about the Arts Council?
Well, I spoke to the Arts Council this afternoon. And they weren't hopeful.
Meaning what?
Well, they reckon with the amount they've sponsored our losses over the last 3 years, they could have reopened the old Vic. Apparently, they lay bets at the office on how much we're going to lose on each production.
Cheeky sods.
And, I'm afraid, we no longer meet their criteria for support.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think it means no more money.
Precisely.
And what exactly are their criteria for support?
Well, we're not offering theatre for children, or ethnic or sexual minorities, or prisons. We don't have any disabled actors, we're just plain
Crap!
Well, that's a great attitude. So they no longer support theatre for the masses.
You can hardly describe our audiences as masses, Margaret. They stay away in droves.
So we've had it then.
Well, the Arts Council did offer one ray of hope.
What's that?
And they're not going to ask for their money back.
Oh, terrific.
No, I'm afraid there's only one way out of this crisis, and that's to make a huge profit on our next production. Which brings me neatly to the next item on my agenda, suggestions for the next production. Anybody got any thoughts? Yes, Joyce.
I'd like us to do
7 Brides for
7 Brothers.
Yes, Joyce, I know it's your favourite musical, but I have to say, I can foresee a few logistical problems with doing 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
Like what?
Well, doesn't the title seem to suggest certain minimum casting requirements?
How do you mean?
I think it means there's not enough of us.
Oh, what about
Oklahoma. Same basic problem.
Sounds specific.
No, Joyce.
Yeah, we could have a bash at Robinson Crusoe.
You never wanted to do a musical.
It's not a matter of wanting to, Joyce. It's a matter of what is possible.
Gordon's right, Joyce. Quite apart from the problem of numbers, you seem to have overlooked the fact that none of us can sing.
Can sing?
I'm sorry, Joyce. A musical is out of the question.
So we'll end up doing what you want, as always.
Right, okay, fine. That's settled then. For the opening production of the season, Joyce will direct and star in our very own adaptation of that famous musical, 2 Brides for 2 Brothers.
Hey, hang on a minute. Leave me out of this. I'm just a set builder.
Sorry, Joyce. Make that 2 brides for 1 brother.
We could recruit some new members. Put an ad in the post office.
Joyce, I'd rather be the recruitment officer for Sellafield than us. We've tried putting an ad in the post office, and in the newspaper, and in the programme. Nobody wants to know. They've all seen us perform, for God's sake.
All right, you've made your point.
Anybody else got any suggestions?
Oh, what about a
nice little farce?
We always do a nice little farce.
It's what the people want.
What people? In a highly acclaimed production of Continental Quilt, We sold 17 tickets over 3 nights.
And 3 of those were for Joyce's husband.
He had to give me a lift home. They all enjoyed it, though.
Nobody laughed.
Just because there weren't any crude outbursts of laughter doesn't mean they didn't find it amusing. They were smiling internally.
Well, says who?
Joyce's husband, for one. And a friend of mine said, it's the best thing we've done since, oops, there go my trousers, more tea, Vicar.
It's the only thing we've done since, oops, there go my trousers, more tea, Vicar. Let's face it, we're the laughing stock of the village.
The only thing they don't laugh at is our comedies.
I see. So what do you suggest? That we disband?
Oh no, that would be a terrible shame.
Hey, this is the only chance I get to escape from the wife all week.
No one suggested we disband, Margaret.
What then?
Well, luckily your chairman has a plan.
What plan?
A production that's going to knock 'em dead and put bums on seats.
What production?
I have written a play.
You?
Don't sound so surprised, Margaret. I have written a play, and it's going to be our salvation.
Oh, Gordon, we have managed to knacker some of the best plays ever written. What makes you think yours is going to fare any better?
Sex.
I beg your pardon.
There's only one thing that sells tickets these days, really sells tickets. Sex!
You're mad.
Oh, well, shut up. Let them finish.
It's all right for you. You've just got to 0%.
Don't panic. No one's going to have to do anything embarrassing. We just make them think you do.
This all sounds very dodgy.
Not at all. Not at all. The poster for my play will state a simple warning. Adults only. This play contains explicit scenes of nudity, which may shock or offend. Then just watch them flock in.
And then what?
And then we give them a nice little farce.
Hey, hang on a minute. If you get them all coming along here, think they're going to get a flash of Margaret's tits, you're going to have to deliver the goods.
You leave my tits out of this.
But that's the point, they can't, there'll be a riot.
There won't. And I'll be far too embarrassed to admit that that's why they came. No one will say a word.
It's cheap and vulgar.
Yes.
It'll fill the place.
Yes.
What's it called, this play of yours?
Last Tango in Little Grimley.
Oh my God.
Is it a musical?
No, Joyce, it's not a musical.
I'll never be able to face the butcher again. He normally puts a poster up for me.
We won't need posters. We'll just leak some information to Mrs. Pym.
Mrs. Pym, that's brilliant. The whole village will know in seconds.
What's it about?
Ah, that's the real masterstroke. It's about the butcher.
The butcher?
And the baker, and the candlestick maker, and Mrs. Pym.
You're not making any sense, Gordon.
It's about Little Grimley. I've loosely based all the characters on people in the village.
How loosely?
Medium loose. Loose-ish. Ooh, quite tight, actually.
Oh my God.
The sordid revelations of an apparently respectable village.
We'll be lynched.
No, we won't. To lynch us, they'll have to recognise themselves in the play, and they won't dare do that. Well, what do you think, Margaret?
It's madness.
Joyce?
Couldn't you just put one song in it?
Joyce, say yes, and I'll write you a song.
Yes.
Bernard?
I still think Margaret ought to lob her tits out.
Margaret is not blowing anything out, thank you very much.
What kind of set could you build for £200?
200.
We could afford it on this one.
200. You could have hydraulics and real brick walls.
Good man. Now you see the potential. Margaret, I need your support.
So will she if she lobs out her tits.
Margaret?
Somebody drop a stage weight on that man's head.
Ignore him, Margaret. It's me who's asking you.
Do I get the lead?
Of course.
And no flashing of tits.
No.
Unless, of course, I consider it absolutely essential to the plot.
As you wish.
I'll have to think it over.
I understand. If you say no, I'll offer the lead to Joyce.
Oh, I thought it over. Let's do it.
Excellent. Right, any other business? Right, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest we reconvene at the same time next week to begin rehearsals. I'm sure will cope. There you go, Bernard.
I don't want one.
Yes, you do. You're in it.
Oh, no way. You're not getting me up on stage.
Well, why not?
Well, to start with, I'm not an actor.
You don't have to act, Bernard. Just do what the rest of us do.
No way.
Look, Bernard, you've got to. I need 4 actors. Everybody else is playing 3 parts. You're just doing the butcher. Look, if you don't do it, the whole thing's off.
Come on, Bernard, you've done it before.
It's a bit bloody different being the back end of a horse in a children's pantomime than this. I mean, look, this is a speaking part.
Look, Bernard, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If I've got the choice between you and Dustin Hoffman, you probably wouldn't get the part. But I haven't. So you're doing it. End of argument. Right, let's go. First page is just my notes, so let's take it from the top of page 2. Margaret's entrance. Ready, Bernard?
I'm not in yet.
Yes, you are. Top of page 2.
Where?
Top of page 2. Top of page 2. Butcher. Top of page 2. Not the bottom, not the middle. Look, I know you're not an actor, Bernard, but I was hoping you could read.
Oh, look, top of page 2. No bloody butcher.
That's page 3.
That's my page 2.
Well, what happened to page 2?
Well, I've got 2 page 2s.
Aha.
But no page 3.
Bernard, have you got 2 page 3s?
Oh, I've got 2 page 3s,
Right.
but no page 4.
I can help you out there. I've got 4 of the buggers.
Joyce, you give Bernard your other page 3.
I don't need a page 3.
What's the problem then?
No bloody page 2.
Oh, well, who had 2 page 2s?
Me.
Right. Give your page 2 to Bernard.
Both of them.
No! Just one! Margaret, give your other page 3 to Joyce. Bernard, give one of your page 4s to Margaret. Everybody happy now?
I still got too many page 4s.
Right! Right, let's go. Top of page 2. Margaret's entrance. Ah, bloody hell. Start reading it through.
Right then, my entrance. Ready, Bernard?
What's this supposed to?
Right. Margaret enters. What am I carrying?
What?
It says Margaret enters carrying something, but I can't read his writing.
Carrying a limp.
Oh, right. Which leg?
What?
It's important to get the details of the character right, Bernard. You'll find this out.
This is just a read through. It doesn't matter which leg.
Well, the left then.
If you like.
Or do you prefer the right?
I prefer the left. Let's just get on with it.
Morning, Gerald.
Morning, Mrs. Duffield. What can I get you today?
I fancy a bit of rum.
Don't we all, Mrs.
This is appalling.
Come on, don't break the flow.
Can I have a look at your loins?
Any time, Mrs. Duffield. Just don't let your husband find out.
It's not exactly Chekhov, is it?
I think it's quite good. Carry on.
You know, Gerald, my husband just doesn't realise how much meat has gone up.
I bet he doesn't.
Oh, you are saucy, Gerald. I'm sorry, I can't do this. No one is going to buy tickets to see this garbage. And when Gordon comes back, I'm going to tell him so.
There you go. 15 seats for Saturday.
need.
I told you, sex sells tickets.
Who was it?
The Lively Ladies Over 50s Club.
Oh, John.
Well, looks like Mrs. Pym's doing her job very effectively.
Do they know it's a sex comedy?
I think they're relying on the fact.
Just your thoughts.
Yeah, more a case of nostalgia with them. Still, every ticket counts. Right, how are we getting on with the opening scene?
Well, Margaret thinks...
Actually, Gordon, I think we've cracked it. How's this? Morning, Gerald.
Morning, Mrs. Duffield.
A whole of it.
What can I get you?
Bernard, you're a butcher. Be butcher. Butchers are loud, rosy cheeked, vivacious.
Hers isn't. Hers is a suddenly old bugger.
Well, I think we could allow ourselves a bit of artistic license.
Bernard's artistic license expired years ago.
Oh, stuff your script.
Bernard, come back. Margaret didn't mean it, did you, Margaret?
If he wants to be an actor, he's got to learn to take a little criticism.
I'm not an actor, remember, I'm a set builder.
Well, it's a pity your sets aren't as wooden as your performances.
Bollocks!
Bernard! Now look, it's good to see the old team spirit is back with a vengeance. Now look, I'm the director here, and I'll hand out criticism when it's due. And it will be good, sound, constructive criticism. And we'll all take it in good heart. Okay? Good. Right, now, Bernard, that was shite.
Morning, Mrs. Duffield.
Better.
What can I get you today?
Much better.
I fancy a bit of... You don't like the way I'm doing it, do you?
No.
To deliver, you know.
You're doing it fine. I was just wondering what you'd done to your leg. Are you in pain?
I'm acting, Gordon. Just obeying stage directions. Margaret enters carrying a limp.
A lamp. Margaret enters carrying a lamp.
It's your bloody awful handwriting.
I'm sorry, I haven't exactly had time to get it published.
So, I'm carrying a lamp, not a limp.
Precisely.
Well, just as long as I know. These little details are important, you know.
Can we just get on?
Morning, Gerald.
Let's take this in. I'm getting a bit bored of it, to be honest. Let's move on to page 4. Joyce, you're on.
Who am I playing?
You, Joyce, are playing you, Joyce.
Who?
You're playing yourself.
Playing myself?
Yes.
Me?
Well, I thought you were the obvious one for the part.
I'm not sure I can play myself, Gordon.
Well, you're the right height. You've got the action down. Just be yourself.
And do what?
It came to me in a flash of inspiration. You want to do a song, right?
Right?
But this isn't a musical, it's a farce.
You can say that again.
So I thought, how can I get a song into a farce? And then it hit me.
What?
You're playing you, practicing for the forthcoming production of 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, so he gets to do a song from the show.
Would there be 7 brides for 7 brothers after all?
No, Joyce, watch my lips. My play is a play about an amateur dramatic society, with you in it, performing a musical.
Us, you mean?
Yes, us, if you like, but I mean, it could be someone else.
Are we doing the musical or not?
No! We're pretending to do it! It's a play! You're in a play, about a play. Oh, never mind. Just read the words on the script. Page 4.
Where do I stand?
Ah, you don't stand. You lie down. You're in the bath.
The bath?
Well, what better place to rehearse the song?
With no clothes on?
Oh, we'll cover you in bubbles.
I'm not taking my clothes off, Gordon.
You can wear a bikini. You'll be covered in bubbles.
I'm not wearing a bikini, Gordon.
Right, okay, fine. You can wear a bloody duffel coat for all I care. Just don't pull up the hood. Right. You're in the bath, singing away with those big rousing numbers from 7 Brides, and I come bursting in.
Who are you?
the vicar.
What's the vicar doing in my bathroom?
He hears you singing and thinks you're calling for help.
What's he doing in my house?
I'm not going to stand here and explain the whole plot. You'll have to pick it up as we go along.
It's a bit tricky when you keep skipping pages.
Well, you were taking too long.
We'd have been halfway through by now if you'd let me carry on.
Oh, I'll get that.
Look, can we just crack on? Joyce, start singing.
What?
Anything. You're in the bath. Sing. Good. Right, so I come bursting in and say... Oh, shit.
Isn't that a bit strong for Vicar?
I haven't got a page 4. Thank you. Right. I come bursting in and say... Are you alright? Oops, Mrs. Pilkington. I'm so sorry. I never... Well, I never... Tripped.
Now?
Yes, now, Joyce, before one of us dies.
Oh, Vicar, it's you.
Yes. Yes, I could have sworn I heard a cry for help.
I was just rehearsing for the forthcoming show.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. I think I'd better leave.
I think that would be best.
Right then, I'll leave then.
Right.
Is this an iambic pentameter?
Shut up, you're on!
I am.
Mrs. Stodgeworthy!
Oh, right. Oh, Mrs. Pilkington, are you... Oh, Vicar.
Why, Mrs. Stodgeworthy? I was just...
see what you were doing, Vicar.
No, you've got it all wrong. I just came here to have a look. I just came to lend a hand. She was just rehearsing.
Spare me the sordid details.
Great. Then storm out. Go on, storm. And then return a few seconds later to say...
The bishop will hear of this.
Terrific! Well, what do we think, Bernard?
I think it's the biggest load of crap I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
But it's just sold another 35 tickets for Saturday night.
35?
A block booking from the Young Farmers Club. I think we're in business.
I'm sorry, Friday and Saturday night are both sold out. We do have tickets left for the Thursday night. You can. I'll reserve those for you. That's 2 on the door for Thursday night. Oh, that's fine. No problem. Thank you, Vicar. Right, where were we?
On top of page 46.
Oh, yes. What I was getting at, Joyce, you know that way when people get angry, how they tend to speak louder and worry less about their diction and move their arms about and stuff like that? Well, I'd like you to try and imitate that sort of thing. You know, it's called acting.
I'm doing my best.
I know. Perhaps we do better without the scripts.
Now, steady on.
Oh, come on, Margaret. We open tomorrow night. About time we tried it.
Hey, you want to read this?
Not now, Bernard. I'm rehearsing.
You'll have to read this.
Later.
We'll read it.
What is it?
Read.
He can't do this.
Well, it looks like he's done it.
A cabaret club?
Well, you can't really blame him. We haven't exactly pulled the money in for him, have we?
He could at least have told us.
Does he honestly think that people are going to prefer this garbage to good live theatre?
No, but he obviously thinks I prefer it to us.
Opens April 24th. So this really is the last tango in Little Grimley. What are we going to do?
I'll tell you what we're going to do, Joyce. We're going to give them a night they'll never forget. Now come on, let's show them what we're made of. Positions, everybody. Let's do it without scripts.
Will you prompt?
All right, top of 46, Margaret's line. I'd like to have a word with you, Mrs. Pilkington.
I'd like to have a word with you, Mrs. Pilkington. Sorry.
What's going on?
What's going on
Between
between my husband and you?
you and my husband?
Oh, same thing. What's going on between you and my husband?
Is it me now?
Yes, Joyce, it's you now.
How dare you?
Yes? Anger, Joyce! Anger? Look, like me, now! I'm angry, I'm shouting, I'm moving my arms about. Now come on, Joyce, frighten me!
How dare you?
I certainly did, Joyce. It scared the shit out of me. Look, we've got 1 day left. One! Then the biggest audience you've ever seen in your life is going to descend on this place. No one even knows their lines. Now, come on, again, same place.
I'd like to have a word with you, Mrs. Pilkington. What's going on between you and...
Hold it. Bernard! Bernard, what the hell do you think you're doing?
What does it look like?
Well, it looks like you're trying to ruin my rehearsal.
I'm trying to build a set.
You can't do it now.
When do you want me to do it? Do you want me to wait to tomorrow night when the bloody audience comes in? You can maybe give me a hand.
Well, can't you wait till we have a tea break?
What am I supposed to do to them? Hey, and when do I get a tea break?
All right, calm down. Just let's get to the end and we'll all give you a hand. I promise.
I don't want a hand.
I was just offering.
Nice to see the old team spirit back with a vengeance.
I don't want to be here till midnight, you know.
Look, just find something else to do. Just for 5 minutes. Then it's all yours.
5 minutes.
Once more. This better be the last time.
I'd like to have a word with you, Mrs. Pilkington. What's going on between you and my husband?
How dare you?
Joyce.
I'll tell you how I dare.
Joyce, hold it. What's this?
You were the one who told me to move my arms. You said it would make me look angry.
Yes, an angry person, Joyce. An angry person? Not an angry ostrich. Try it again. Bernard!
What is it now?
Stop prattling about with the lights!
I'm trying to set the bugger. Stages do not light themselves up, you know.
Well, can't you do it later?
I'm building the set later, remember?
Well, we can't see the scripts.
What do you want to see scripts for? You're supposed to know the words by now.
All right, Bernard, you win. Put on the lights. Come and build the dance set.
Well, what about the rehearsal?
Oh, stuff the rehearsal. We'll have to go on as we are. Well, what the hell does it matter anyway? We're finished. I'm off to the pub.
Prima donna.
Right, Joyce. Treasurer's report.
Well, in total, we spent £272.15 on materials, props, costumes and set. Total money taken for ticket sales was £849.
Wow!
That means we can pay off our debts and have some to spare. I suggest we donate what's left over to a local charity.
I'll arrange a cheque, Gordon.
Well, Gordon, I have to hand it to you. As far as Little Grimley is concerned, you're the most successful playwright this century.
Well, I think the one we've really got to thank is you, Margaret. It was a stroke of genius, Margaret.
And so unexpected.
Well, let's face it, they were on the verge of booing us off. It was do or die.
Nevertheless, it was a major personal sacrifice.
You should see the letters I've had. 17 offers of marriage, 3 of which I intend to follow up. And one offer of something quite disgusting, which I also intend to follow up.
Well, unless there's any other business? No? In that case, I declare the meeting closed and move that we officially disband Little Grimley Amateur Dramatic Society.
Oh, well. That's it, I suppose, eh? I'm going to miss this old place.
12 years we've been here.
A cabaret club. I suppose it had to happen eventually.
At least we went out with a bang.
And a song, and a capacity crowd.
The biggest in living memory. Or should I say, memory?
Sorry.
You'll miss a subtle sense of humour, won't you?
I shall miss a subtle sense of humour. I always did.
Well, I think I'll be toddling off then. You know, Margaret, it's a pity we didn't get a glimpse of the left one. I've heard it's even better.
Well, maybe this is your chance, Bernard.
What's that?
The sequel. More tangos in Little Grimley. We already have massive advance ticket sales. The only problem is, Mrs. Pym has asked for 5% commission.
I don't understand. What about the cabaret club?
Ah, I had a call from Stan Fellows. Apparently, we're just the sort of act he's looking for. We're booked for the opening Saturday night. Strictly professional, of course. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's start rehearsing. Margaret, I think you need to work on your wiggle.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets for more tangos will be available from Mrs. Pym's on Monday. Thank you very much for coming along to support the hospice and to watch us, give us the chance of performing. Thank you very much.